Hi, welcome to IT Convergence demonstration of the new ServiceNow CSM or Customer Portal. I'm going to demonstrate today some navigation and how to use the CSM to log your service request or view requests. To start, every user for each customer that needs access will need to make sure that their access is set up with ITC's administration of the CSM or Customer Portal. Most all users who have been set up as users that can submit requests have already been set up for access to the CSM. When we release the access to the production CSM, each of those users will receive their username and a default password. The first time that the user logs in, they will be requested to change their password. Beginning to show you some navigation, the home screen is here, and then we have the main menu up along the top. The last item here is the user that is logged in. So if you are the user here, your name will show. On the menu, we have an option for catalog. This is also known as requests. This is how you could submit requests for any planned activity or planned work, such as clones, transitions, code promotions, etc. Second, we have the button to create a case. A case would include any ticket that's related to a break fix issue or something that is broken. Third, we have a My Approvals screen that will show you a list of your approvals for your user or your customer. Fourth, we have My Requests. So you'll be able to view any catalog requests that you have created or have been created on your behalf by ITC users. Fifth, we have the cases. So if you click this option, you will be able to see all of the cases that have either been created by you or other users in your organization or on your behalf by ITC users. Any request sent to the service desk at itconvergence.com will also show up in the cases view, as those are automatically created as cases. Finally, the assets option will show you all of the assets associated with your account. If you are a hosted customer, it will show you all of these assets as found in our Landsweeper application, which automatically scans for all of your online assets. If you're a managed customer, you will have to make sure that you submit your list of assets to your SDM or other administrator to make sure that those are logged and that you'll be able to see them. Down on the main screen, you have a section where you can type in and search and find answers. This could include in future releases any knowledge management that's associated with your customer. However, for now, if you want to have a fast and easy way to find out how to submit a clone, just type in clone and it will come up with relevant results. Down on the bottom of the screen, you also have some duplicate entries that are used often. So you have the approval screen. This will be where all of your changes are logged. In the first release, it will show only the read-only option. So you'll be able to see a list of all the organization's changes and their statuses. Then you'll be able to use the second option to create a catalog option. Remember, this is also called a request, and it contains those items that are considered planned activities. And then finally, you have another option to create a case. So to begin, I'm going to start with creating a case. This is break fix. Anything that you want to report needs attention. So in order to do this, you can either use this create case item here or along the top menu, whichever is more convenient for you. Choosing this option, you're going to have this short screen. And all you have to do is select the following options. The only thing that is really required is marked with an asterisk, which is the subject line. You may know this or be familiar with the SR title or some kind of indication of what your request is for. So the list of categories are common categories usually related to a certain team that might work on this. You select the category that you want to create a case for. Then also it will give you a list of options as they relate to subcategories. As you can see, this field is not required, but obviously the more information that you're able to add into the case, the quicker we can get this assigned to the right people. Once you've selected the subcategory, you will also have the option to select an issue type. This will help even further narrow down your specific break-fix issue. Again, this is not required, but it could give more details to the team that's going to be working on your case. Assignment group, if you know this, you can definitely choose it. However, if you don't know, you can leave this blank and your case will be forwarded over to the service desk so they can choose the right assignment. If you have an asset that is, like I said before, you're a managed customer and you've submitted a list of assets, which would be servers or network devices, etc., you can start entering that information into the asset field, and it will find any resulting assets that have been entered. If you're a hosted customer, again, you can start typing in the server name and it will pull down the list of servers that are on your cloud network, and you'll be able to indicate that as the target server. Then you can put in a subject. Again, this should be short, succinct, but specific as to what your issue is. So that anybody who's looking at this at first glance can definitely get an idea of maybe where to route this or what the problem is exactly. And then if you need to expand and give description, more information, maybe some communication requirements and things like that, you can add additional information here. Additionally, you can add attachments down. It's a simple click of the attachment button, and it's a simple go out and search for the item that you're wanting to add. When you've entered all of the information here, you just click the submit button and it will create the case and show you the relevant details for the information on that case. As ITC begins working on this case, you will begin to see the notes add in. If they add any attachments, you'll see that. When it's assigned to a specific group and person, you will see that as well. If you want to respond back or to add information, create notes that will then send a notification to the users that are assigned, you just simply type your message in here. So that information will be added to your case, and any resulting notifications will go out to the assigned parties. And that is all that there is to creating a case. Navigating back out to home, I'll demonstrate how to create a catalog item. Again, this is a request or planned activity. By clicking on the catalog option, either in the main screen or at the top menu, you will come to a list of categories. A list of popular items will show up here, but if none of these fit your certain request, you can definitely start to drill down into any of these categories to find what you're needing to do. If you need a user access, for example, you can choose the category, and then if there are other items here, choose the appropriate one. For this example, I'll use the user access request. This form is a little bit more detailed, but it is also set to be a planned activity. And again, anything that is marked with an asterisk is required, but anything that is not marked is optional. As always, the more information you're able to add, the better the situation. So first, you're going to probably start for this a server name if required. If you don't have a specific server, maybe you need access to all production servers or you need sudo access to a specific server, you can click others and then we'll be able to put in the description any further information that's required. If you already have a username, as you see, this user request is to create, update, or revoke. So if you already have a username and this is not a new creation request, then you can put that username here. Then you'll select the access type. So if it's an ad, you can add in just the ad, or you can choose what type of access you need, read, write, pseudo only, etc. It'll automatically pick up your user email for the person that's logged into the account. And then you will choose what type of user access this is for. Is it for a specific server, an application, or a database? That way we can make sure and create the right access for you. Again, if you have a specific account name, you can enter that, but it's not a required field. Location as well is not a required field. This could just possibly give more information on where the user is located. And right now, only ITC related regions are here, so you may not find your item there. Next, you have the description. So if you wanted to add a user and add just read only, you can put that in the description, any kind of communication. So if you need that user information and password sent to you via a specific method, anything like that, you can enter anything you need to in the description field. In the date required field, you're going to enter the date that you actually need this access submitted to you. Just keep in mind that user access is usually considered a moderate priority and usually could take up to 48 hours to submit. If it's urgent, you'll have the ability to mark that, but it is, usually a moderate request. This will pick up the current time in a Pacific time. And then if you need to put in a different time, like maybe the end of day, that you'll need that access, you can just change that time there in the field. You could mark here whether this is an urgent request or not. If it is, then it definitely will be something we'll move up in our priority list, although it'll still be considered a moderate request. If this is a new user, you can add in yes or no here. If you need to put in information on the city, state, country, just be advised it's not required, and you can skip those fields if you want. The business reason for the request that you need access, this is a free-form field, so you can type in whatever you want. If you're asking for access to production, a pseudo read-write request or root access to something, you may have to give some kind of information here that will help the person that is assigned to this request appropriately designate the right access for you and make sure that all the required paperwork and approvals are in place. Again, if you want to add attachments, you just click the Add Attachments button and go out and search for the document, and it will be added here for ITC users. Once you've filled out everything, you just click the Submit button. You'll see this item come up that will ask you if you're making this request on a different user's behalf. Then you can select that user's name, or you can just leave it as yourself, whoever is logged in. Also, you can see delivery information and special instructions. So if you have special information that wasn't included on the main form, you can add that here and then check out. So then what you'll see is you'll see the main request, which contains the basic information you just created. It doesn't have a lot of information at this level. This is kind of the housing for the requested items. So from here, if you want to see more information and follow this request as it goes through the workflows and different assignments, you can click on the requested items. There's a link up here. Just click that and it will open up a larger screen that will show you all of the details that were entered for this request, any attachments, and also as notes are created, or if you want to add notes, you can do so here. So the communication will be here. So that's how you create a request. You may have your service delivery team calling this several different items because there's 3 levels to every catalog request. There's the request, which, like I said, is like the housing of all of the requested items and resulting tasks. But you may also hear them referred to as an RITM, a requested item, or a task. Basically, the tasks are only viewable to the person that is assigned to fulfill your request. And so you will see that you won't see the task information, but just know if your service delivery team or another user is saying task to you, they're referring to a request or planned activity. So now that you have, a request in here and a case in here that you've created, you can view those by choosing one of the options up on the main menu, My Request. You'll see a listing of requests as they're filled in, and also for cases, exactly the same. So you'll get a high level view of those. What you'll see also under request, it will show your request for your user. However, if you're an administrator for your organization or you need to see more, you can always click the All button here. You'll see that it's been filtered to show just for your user. But if you select All, it will show all of the items in your requests. Additionally, you can export these out just to show the list. Again, I'm going to go back to my requests. If you want to export your list of requests or even on cases, you could just click this and choose either export to Excel or to PDF, whichever, and that will give you just a list, basically what you see on the screen. As we move forward into other releases, you will definitely be able to export information related to a request or a case. And again, as we move forward today, you won't be able to see the My Approval in this demonstration, but as we release this to the production environment, you will see at least a read-only option of your changes and their statuses, and you'll be able to also hopefully in future releases be able to export that if needed for internal uses or audit, etc. So that's a basic navigation of the system. We do have several other phases in progress where you'll start to see more of the catalog options. These will increase in number and be more specific. Just keep in mind on requests, they're pretty much automated in some ways. If there's approvals related to any of your requests, such as adding storage or anything that may incur cost or affect revenue at all, you may have to approve something. However, the user that enters the request, as long as they're on the customer SR approvers distribution list that your service delivery team has discussed with you, they shouldn't have to approve separately. But if someone else in your organization that is not on that approver list decides to add one of these, you may get a request for it to be approved separately. Again, just to reiterate that these categories will continue to grow and evolve. The automation is there with workflows. So if it does require any kind of ITC approval, such as access to production environments, things of that nature, then the approvals will be automated and sent to the right group so that they can approve it in a timely manner and get your request on its way to completion. When the request and the requested item are created, the task will be auto-created as well. So if this is a recurring task, for example, those tasks will be created on that recurring schedule. If it is an item that requires multiple steps, such as a decommission or a server build, again, all of those tasks will be created and worked in the order that they are needed to complete that request. As we move forward into future releases, we will definitely keep the customer base aware and notified of all of the changes. We welcome feedback as well, and we will do our best to accommodate user requests or modification requests. If you have questions or concerns about the customer CSM, you can definitely contact your service delivery manager, and they will make sure and notify the right people on the ServiceNow project team to look at your issues or address your needs. Thank you for joining. Have a good day.